Video games are built around order. Progression, items, enemies, they're all carefully designed to lead you from beginning to end. But what happens when you throw all that order out the window? Enter the world of randomizers. These mods shuffle the rules, mixing items, bosses, and even entire levels, forcing you to adapt, improvise, and rediscover games you thought you knew by heart. Today, we're counting down the top 10 randomizers you absolutely need to play. We'll dive into their history, highlight legendary community moments, and explore why players keep coming back for more. Let's get started. Number 10. The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess Randomizer. Twilight Princess has always been one of the darker, more cinematic Zelda games, but the randomizer gives it a completely different flavor. Items like the spinner, claw shot, and bow can now appear in completely unexpected places, turning a 40-hour adventure into a logic puzzle. The Twilight Princess Randomizer project began gaining traction in the late 2010s, and the devs have consistently added quality-of-life features, hints, custom seeds, and even logic rules to prevent unbeatable runs. The community has grown steadily, and it's become a favorite for players who love long, methodical randomizer experiences. One of the most famous moments was when speedrunner Gymnast86 pulled off a full completion race where progression hinged on a single out-of-logic item placement. Watching the community scramble for routing solutions has been half the fun. If you're looking for a slower, more epic Zelda randomizer where every dungeon feels like a riddle, Twilight Princess is a must-try. Number 9. Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer. Kingdom Hearts 2 already has layers of complexity with abilities, forms, and keyblades. The randomizer turns that into organized chaos. Abilities like Glide, High Jump, and Second Chance can appear in completely different worlds. Keyblades, drive forms, and even important progression checks might be hiding in chests you'd normally ignore. The KH2 randomizer exploded in popularity around 2020 thanks to the Kingdom Hearts Randomizer Tournament series. Streamers raced seeds against each other, building strategies on the fly. It's those moments of pure randomness that make KH2 one of the most exciting randomizers to watch live. It's challenging, it's unpredictable, and for Kingdom Hearts fans, it's like playing your favorite game for the very first time again. The Kingdom Hearts 2 Boss Randomizer shuffles the locations of bosses throughout the game, meaning you could fight late-game enemies like Larxene or Grim Reaper right at the beginning, or face easier fights much later than expected. This creates unpredictable routes, forcing players to adapt their strategies on the fly. It's a favorite in the community for challenge runs and races, since no two playthroughs ever feel the same. Number 8. Resident Evil Randomizer. Survival horror thrives on tension, and Resident Evil randomizers crank that tension through the roof. Items like herbs, ammo, and critical keys are shuffled, meaning you might enter the mansion in Resident Evil and find handgun bullets instead of the sword key. Resident Evil have popped up with multiple randomizers, RE1, RE2, RE3, and even the remakes. They started as small fan projects, but the horror community quickly embraced them. Suddenly, what you thought was a memorized route becomes a desperate scramble for resources. One of the most famous races was in the Resident Evil 2 Randomizer League, where two players ended up locked out of progression until one of them took a huge risk, exploring a zombie-filled hallway on only a knife, and found the key item to win. For horror fans, the randomizer captures that perfect blend of fear and discovery. Every run is a gamble, and every bullet counts. Number 7. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask Randomizer. Majora's Mask is already one of the most stressful Zelda titles, with its repeating 3-day cycle. The randomizer doesn't just shuffle items. It can also randomize dungeon entrances, masks, and even song rewards. That means the Zora mask you desperately need might be hiding in the most inconvenient spot imaginable. The Majora's Mask randomizer community has grown into one of the most dedicated Zelda groups, hosting tournaments and challenge seeds. What sets it apart is the time mechanic. You're always racing the clock. One famous run involved a player finding the Deku Mask in Stone Tower Temple, one of the last areas of the game. The logic forced them to complete nearly everything maskless, turning the run into a marathon of improvisation. For fans who love pressure, logic puzzles, and chaos, this randomizer is one of the most exciting on the list. Number 6. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past Randomizer. A Link to the Past Randomizer, often called ALTTP Randomizer, is considered the gold standard of randomizers. Released in 2017, it took the speedrunning community by storm. With its open-ended world and item-based progression, it was the perfect candidate for shuffling items. The ALTTP randomizer scene exploded, spawning tournaments, races, and even the now famous Super Metroid: A Link to the Past crossover randomizer. In this special mode, players swap between two games mid-run, with Zelda items hidden on Zebes and Metroid upgrades hidden in Hyrule. Legendary moments include the ALTTPR League, where hundreds of racers competed in team formats, and runs, where progression hinged on something ridiculous like the flute hiding deep in Ganon's tower. It's polished, it's replayable, and it set the standard for almost every randomizer community that came after it. Number 5. Super Mario 64 Randomizer. Super Mario 64 might be the most speedrun optimized game of all time, but the randomizer gives it brand new life. Stars, level entrances, and even object placements can be shuffled, meaning you could jump into Bob-omb Battlefield only to find yourself warped straight into Tick-Tock Clock. The Mario 64 randomizer scene gained momentum in the mid-2010s, with streamers showcasing wild seeds where Bowser keys showed up in the strangest places. Fans love it because it forces platforming adaptability. Suddenly, your usual speedrun routes won't work anymore. One highlight moment came during a charity marathon, where a runner needed just one more star to finish, but the last one was hidden behind a chain of warps that took nearly 20 minutes to track down. The suspense had the entire audience hooked. It's chaotic, fun, and endlessly replayable, especially for fans of platforming precision. Number 4. Chrono Trigger Randomizer. Chrono Trigger is one of the greatest RPGs ever made, and the randomizer keeps it fresh decades later. Items, characters, and even bosses are shuffled, meaning you might face Magus early in the game, or build a party with characters you'd never normally use together. The Chrono Trigger randomizer community formed in the late 2010s, with fans looking to expand replayability of the RPG classic. What makes it special is the mix of nostalgia and unpredictability. It keeps the emotional core of the game but forces new strategies with every run. Some of the most famous seeds are showcased in Chrono Trigger Randomizer League races, where runners have to adapt to shocking boss placements. Imagine fighting Lavos with only mid-game gear. It's brutal, but thrilling. For RPG fans, this one is a must. Number 3. Dark Souls Randomizer. Dark Souls already has a reputation for crushing players, but with the randomizer, you never know what's waiting around the next corner. Bosses can appear in completely different arenas, enemies swap zones, and crucial items get shuffled. The community quickly embraced this chaos, with events like Fog Gate randomizer runs, where stepping through any door could send you anywhere in the game. Watching a player enter the Asylum Demon fight only to face Ornstein and Smo instead has become a rite of passage. One legendary run involved the streamer walking into Firelink Shrine only to be instantly ambushed by Manus, one of the game's hardest bosses. For those who love the pain and unpredictability, Dark Souls randomizers are unmatched. Number 2. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time Randomizer. Ocarina of Time Randomizer, or OOTR, is one of the most popular randomizers of all time. With options to shuffle items, songs, entrances, and even dungeon layouts, it's endlessly customizable. The OOTR community is massive, with tournaments, leagues, and charity races happening regularly. Logic settings ensure that seeds are always beatable, but routing is a puzzle in itself. One of the most famous randos happened at GDQ, where ZFG did a live seed, finding crucial progression items in hilariously inconvenient places. The audience was excited when he found the hammer from a hidden grotto in Gerudo's Valley. OOTR is polished, beloved, and endlessly replayable. For many players, it's the gold standard of Zelda randomizers. Number 1. Paper Mario Randomizer. This isn't your average playthrough. The Paper Mario Randomizer completely shakes up the game's core progression, scrambling not just items and badges, but also your partners and even enemy encounters. Suddenly, you might find a powerful badge right in Toad Town. Or your very first partner might be the powerful electrifying Watt from Chapter 3. So, where did this beautiful chaos come from? The Paper Mario Randomizer project was first released back in 2017, created primarily by a developer known as LCC. It was born from a desire to breathe new life into one of the most beloved games of the era. The initial versions were more basic, but the concept of an unpredictable adventure immediately captivated a small community. Over the years, LCC and other contributors have tirelessly worked on it, adding new features, improving the logic, and perfecting the randomization to make sure every single run is unique, fun, and, most importantly, beatable. Randomizers aren't just mods. They're a way to rediscover the games we love, to turn nostalgia into fresh adventure, and to challenge ourselves in ways the original developers never imagined. From Zelda to Mario, from RPGs to survival horror, there's a randomizer out there for everyone. Which one will you try first? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with a fellow gamer. And remember, in the world of randomizers, expect the unexpected.